Let's get down to the ingredients. I'm going to start off with aloe. I have an aloe plant growing in my backyard. I purchased my aloe plant from Home Depot. It was a small baby and it grew tremendously in 3 years, I guess because I live in Florida. But anyway, I'm going to cut a piece of that plant there. Next are my butters. I'm going to be using unrefined cocoa butter. My hair loves shea butter, so I'm going to add some unrefined shea butter and mango butter. As a miscellaneous, I'm also going to add some MSM powder to my mixture. And of course, you're going to need a cheesecloth. Links will be below for everything I purchased. Next is my oils. I'm going to be using Haitian castor oil as well as Jamaican black castor oil. And my new favorite is neem oil. If you don't like the smell of peanuts, just want to give you a heads up, this does smell like peanuts. And then last but not least, some organic coconut oil. The star of the show is going to be the Chebe powder. I purchased my Chebe powder off of Etsy. This seller also sells on Amazon, but she does not ship Prime. I'm showing you guys the 20 grams that I purchased and how tall the bag was. It measures up to my Bath & Body foaming hand soap. And then I'm just going to open the package so you guys can see. So mine came with 2 bags of the Chebe powder. I believe 1 bag should be suffice. You can get so many uses out of just this little bit of powder. I'm actually infusing some oil, and what I did is I took my oil mixture that I'm going to show you guys and I put it in an amber container so that it can sit in a dark room, and I'm going to let this infuse for about a couple of weeks, and I'm going to add this to my oil mixture that I like to use on my hair. But if you don't want to wait, I'm going to show you guys how you can do it right now. So I'm going to take my glass container. I'm going to start putting my oils in here. Now, this is the first time that I'm making my butters, so I don't know the measurements. So my first oil I'm going to pour in my container is going to be some Jamaican black castor oil. I think I put about maybe a tablespoon of castor oil, the Jamaican black castor oil. Next, I'm going to put in the Haitian castor oil, and because I sell it on my site, I'm just going to pour it from the gallon rather than from the container I had. And I put about 2 tablespoons of castor oil. Next, I'm going to pour in some MSM powder. I put about a teaspoon of MSM powder to my mixture. And neem oil is similar to coconut oil, where when it gets cold, it hardens. So because I'm not able to get it out of the dropper, I'm just going to let that bottle sit in some hot water and wait for that to melt. While that's melting, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze coconut oil into my mixture. Probably put about a tablespoon and a half of coconut oil. And then last but not least, well, not really last but not least, because I still have to put my neem oil in there, but I did about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of Chebe powder. And then I'm gonna mix that up. Now my mixture was kind of thick, so what I did to just dilute it a little bit was add a thinner oil. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of avocado oil just to make my mixture a little bit more liquidy and not so thick. So I'm doing about a teaspoon of avocado oil to that mixture, and I'm gonna mix it again. Once that's mixed, I can go ahead and start on my butters. I'm going to cut my cocoa butter. Now, cocoa butter is the hardest of the butters that out of the 3 butters that I have, so I definitely have to use a knife to cut my butter. Depending on what your hair likes, you can use more and less. So I'm trying to use equal parts of everything. So I don't know how to measure that piece that I cut, but you can see about how much I cut. Shea butter is actually the softest of the 3. It's really hard to work with when it comes to like portioning it out for your butters. So I just have to like squeeze out the chunk that I want. It was really, really messy. So just give you a heads up, shea butter is super, super soft. So I'm just trying to peel out just a good chunk, and I'm just gonna put that in my mixture. Now, mango butter is more like a cheese consistency. It's not too hard, it's not too soft. It just slices just like you would slice some cheese. So that sliced pretty well. So now that I have my butters all mixed in a bowl, I'm actually gonna put the butter to the side because my neem oil is now melted, and I'm just gonna introduce that in there. So with my neem oil, I actually love this oil, so I'm gonna add about 4 drops to it. If you want, you can add less, you can add more. It's all up to you on what you would like, but I'm adding 4 drops of the neem oil. Huge disclaimer, I do not cook with this pot anymore. I got new Teflon pots, Black Friday. So I'm just gonna use that pot to do the double boil method. So I'm gonna set that aside. I just have some hot water sitting in that pot, and I'm putting my butter on top so that it can melt. Next, I'm gonna add my cheesecloth to another container because now I'm gonna drain the oil that I had heated on the stove. So basically what I did is on low heat, I let my oil just heat up on the stove, stirring it around consistently, left it on for about 5 minutes, and now I'm gonna pour that into this container. That was another old pot. Like I said, I got a new, girl, 2021 was my year. I got a whole new set of pots, so don't judge me on them old ones. But anyway, I'm gonna let that oil drain. As you can see, all the powder sets to the side. If you wanna use that powder as a paste like they do in the Chad community, you can do that as well. But I just want just the goodness of the powder. I don't want none of that grittiness in my hair butter. So here you see it all infused together, and I love it. Now that my butter is melted, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add the oil to the butter, and I'm gonna mix it together. So that's what you see me doing here. And once it's mixed together, I'm going to put it in my fridge for about 15 minutes, let that cool down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and blend everything together. Just wanna let you guys know that I did follow a recipe that I saw on YouTube, and I will link the original video that I got this idea from below. Now that I have it in, taken out the fridge, I'm gonna go ahead and add my aloe to it. It's just easy for me to blend the aloe with the blender and the oil than to do everything before and melting and all of that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just scrape the goodness inside the aloe into my oil and butter mixture. Then, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and use my blender to just blend everything together. Now with the Haitian castor oil, as well as the Chebe oil and the neem oil, it does have a pungent smell. So I'm just gonna add some lemongrass essential oil to help cut the smell, and I'm gonna mix again. I did realize that I should have left this mixture in my fridge a little bit longer, so I'm gonna stick it back in the fridge for another 10 minutes, and when it comes back out, it's gonna be a little bit more solidified. That way I can get that whippy, buttery consistency. I'm gonna use my spatula just to make sure I get everything blended well, and then I'm gonna mix again until it's nice and fluffy and everything is blended together. Now it's time to go ahead and pipe it. I'm just gonna use my freezer Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna take my butter mixture together, and I'm gonna put it inside the Ziploc bag. I am not a pro at piping. Again, this is my first time making this butter. I think I did a pretty good job, but just the method that I'm using in this video, just ignore that. If you wanna reference a professional, I will link again where I found the recipe from below in the description box, and you can see a professional do it, but this is an amateur trying to do a professional job. Now I'm scraping every little bit of piece of this butter into my Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna take another amber container and I'm going to pipe the butter into that container. My jar looked a little plain, so I went ahead on Canva and created a label and I printed it out on a shipping label. But this is the final results, guys. This is my first time doing it, and I think I did a pretty good job. So for those who are watching it, I know you guys think that YouTubers are professionals and you do everything so perfect, and when you try it, it's a fail. Guys, this was my first time doing it, and I think I did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. Like, look at how this is just gonna melt on my skin. Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
Sometimes they don't show you behind the scenes of what it's like to record a YouTube video. Yeah, look at that. All of my husband's stuff is pushed to the side. Have the butter here. And then what I did to make it look a little clean, look at this, a whole mess. This is what you don't see. And then what I did to make it look really clean for my photos, let me just put this on my tripod. See, look, tripod here. All of this is like the butters. So when I was making my soaps and all of that, just splashed on my mirror. But let me put you on the tripod. Hopefully it doesn't stop recording. There we go. So in order for me to make it clean, I just took a Q-tip and then I just cleaned it like that, so that it looks nice and clean. See that? Even though the sides are a little raggedy, like right there. But for pictures and for the thumbnail, it looks good. I literally just created this label on Canva and then printed it out using a shipping label just to make it look pretty. Bum bum, bum bum. Thanks for watching, guys. By the way, this is not on sale. If you guys would like to purchase this, just let me know in the comments below, and I could put it on my website. As you can see, my website is HairDeLaCreme.com. So if you're interested, let me know. I will have to get the labels professionally made, unless you don't care about that, but I do. Like with my Haitian Castor Oil, hold on, let me get my Castor Oil real quick. So like with my Haitian Castor Oil, I had to get that professionally made so that the label works well, because it's oil in here, so you don't want your directions and stuff like that to get messed up. As you can see, this has been through a lot. Or you don't want your label to peel because you're dealing with oils and butters. So I had to get this professionally made. I need to get it redone because this right here is too much over here and not over here. I was supposed to move everything over like that. But yeah, so I will have to get the labels professionally made when you're dealing with the butter. You see the difference between the labels. This is just, even though the texture is popping out, but still. Anyway, so that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.